Well, Rami Khouri is a senior fellow at American University of Beirut's Issam Fares Institute. He joins us from Boston now. Rami, earlier this year you wrote that, and I'm quoting you here, "Believe it or not, justice will prevail in Palestine." Do you still think that?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I still think it because the sites that the ground in Gaza and throughout the Middle East indicate that the Palestinians militarily are quite weak vis-a-vis the Israelis, even though what Hamas did at a technical level was pretty spectacular to be able to attack Israel as it did and take all these prisoners, whatever one thinks of that. But it was a show of force that nobody ever expected the Palestinians ever to be able to do, and no Arab country has ever really been able to do that either. So at the military level, you're starting to see signs, and Hezbollah is a sign of this too, that the Arabs gradually will be able to inflict the kind of pain on Israel that Israel has inflicted on the Palestinians for many, many decades. But more importantly, I think that the Palestinians will prevail and have justice one day and live in a state either alongside the Israeli state, or they'll all be in one state, which is unlikely. But who knows what the ultimate arrangement is going to be. But I think ultimately we will have our rights as Palestinians, because you've got a new generation of Palestinians now, people under the age of 35 or so, all over the world. And I see them in the United States, I see them in Europe, across the Arab region, everywhere in Palestine. There's an unbelievable energy, determination, knowledge, and a sense of shared identity and will to prevail among young Palestinians. The Israelis stole our land with the help of the colonial British authorities years ago. They stole our land. They tried to steal our rights and our identity, but they couldn't do that. And the British, the early Zionists used to say, "Oh, don't worry about the Palestinians. The old ones will die, and the young ones will forget." Well, if the old ones die, everybody dies, but the young Palestinians have not forgotten. They've become more determined than any other generation of Palestinians. And I'm 75 years old, so I've been involved in this since the 1950s, late 50s, early 60s. And the generations of Palestinians now, the last two generations, are unbelievable in their ability to plan how to work to achieve their rights peacefully. Peacefully is the preferred way. Some people, like Hamas, like others, have decided to use the force of arms. This was the same thing in the ANC in South Africa. Most black South Africans fought peacefully for their rights. Some people eventually turned to using arms. In the end, they won because they achieved their goals because their goals were just, legitimate, internationally recognized. Same thing with the Palestinians. What's happening on the ground today is we're seeing this incredibly ugly mutual spree of killing, with people dying by the hundreds. It's incredible. You had 600, 700 Israelis die. Today, 500 Palestinians, a total of 3,000, I think 700 have died, 1,000 Palestinian children. Every time you see one of those little kids, those little babies dead, it's a tragedy. When you see 1,000 of them dead, it's 1,000 tragedies. But what the Israelis don't realize is that the more Palestinians they kill, and the more they try to drive into the desert, as they're trying to do now, they're trying physically to push the Palestinians from Gaza into the Sinai. And the more they inflict pain on the Palestinians, the more the next generation is determined and able to fight for its rights, peacefully or militarily.